is real love, that good type of love. Yeah. Don't want it to stop. Give me all you got, yeah. Your love is real love.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Becca. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm super excited because I'm giving you a makeup tutorial, and not just any makeup tutorial, for Valentine's Day. Here to spread the love, spread the happiness, spread the joy, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, I am going to prime my face. I have already previously moisturized my skin, and this is the NYX Shine Killer Primer because I have oily skin, and I'm just going to put that all over my face, including my eyelids. Next, I'm going to go in with the Mercier Translucent Powder in the color Medium Deep. And I'm just going to take my Beauty Blender and put that all over my face. And this is going to soak up more of that oil as well. Then to set all that in, I'm just going to use my MAC Prep Plus Prime Fix setting spray just to seal all that. Now as that setting spray is drying, I like to go in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer Orange Corrector and just conceal any of my dark spots. This is going to give me a nice base to add all the rest of my other products. Now I'm going to blend all that orange corrector out with my Morphe M173 brush and just make sure everything is nice and melted into my skin. Now that I have my base done, I'm going to work on my eyeshadow, and I'm just going to set my eyelids with the P. Louise, and this is the color Rumor 05. All I do is just squeeze some on my finger and pat that on my eyelid, and then I blend it out with a blending brush. Or you can use a beauty blender as well. To avoid creasing, I'm just going to set my eyelids with my Morphe M503 brush. You just need a fluffy brush for this and type into a bright eyeshadow. This is from the Too Faced palette, Christmas in Rio, in the color Papai Noel. And I'm just going to lightly tap that on my eyelids. To begin the design for the heart, I'm just going to take my Morphe M124 brush, and I'm going to take my Zulu by Juvia's Palace palette, and I'm going to tap into this deep purple here, and you're just going to make two little dots and closer to the edge of your eye, and kind of do it at an angle as well to form the shape of a heart. Next, I'm going to take my Morphe M213 brush, and with the same palette, I'm going to dip into this hot pink, and you just want to make sure that you're making the outline of a heart. So you're just going to go right around that dark purple. To add to those colors, I'm going to take my Morphe M165 brush, and I'm going to take, it's an angle brush, and I'm going to tap into that Too Faced Christmas in New York palette in the color Park Avenue Princess. And like I did before, I'm just going to make sure I keep outlining the heart. Make sure you go in an upward position, and then on the other side, go in a downward position. And you're just going to keep repeating that same color scheme. Taking my Morphe M431 brush, and I'm just going to blend out any harsh lines. With an angled brush, that heart becomes bigger and fills up more space in my eyelid. Now I'm going to cut the crease using my P. Louise as used before, and I'm going to take my Morphe M224 brush, and I'm going to lightly tap that into the concealer and just carve out a line to separate the top of my eyelid from the bottom part. As you are approaching the edge of your eyelid, you want to kind of curve upward to give that clean look. As I did before, whenever I use concealer or primer for the eyelid, you want to make sure you set it to avoid creasing. Now I'm just going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to line it at the edge of my eye, and I'm going to line it upward at an angle to my eyebrows. And then I'm going to take that Juvia's Place palette, the Zulu one, and I'm going to tap into that purple using those same brushes. And I'm going to follow that same color scheme, starting from purple to hot pink and then the lightest pink. Tapping into that Christmas in Rio palette from Too Faced, I'm just going to pick up the color Eggnog Teeny with my finger and just pat it on that open space on my eyelid. Now that my eyes are done, I can move on to my face. Now I'm just going to use my Fenty concealer and I'm just going to conceal under my eyes, and then I'm going to kind of do an angle as well near my liner to give me more of a lifted look, and this is going to give me more of an awake kind of look as well. With my LA Girl Pro Concealer, I like to just do the inner corner near my eye and just set it right there, and that's going to give me a brighter highlight towards the inner parts of my eye. Now I take my MAC Studio Fix foundation, and it does have sunscreen, which I really love. And I'm going to just pour some on the back of my hand. I don't like to use a lot of foundation because I don't like to look too cakey, so I try to keep it as natural as possible. And I'm just going to take the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, and I just sprinkle a little bit of that inside my foundation, and it makes sure that it absorbs the oil and it keeps me looking matte as well. Of course, you're going to mix that together, and then with a paintbrush, I just apply it to my face. After that, I'm going to use that same setting spray that I used earlier and just set all that in motion. Then of course, you know, we got to blend it out, so I'm going to be using my Sephora Pro Flawless Airbrush, and I'm just tapping that into my skin. I'm not like brushing it around, just so the product could stay in place. I also wanted to mention that I am not touching my concealer with this brush. I'm just placing my foundation underneath it. And with the rest of the makeup that's on the back of my hand, I use that and I bring it down on around my neck, because you do not want to be turned to the side and then people see where your makeup starts and finish. We do not want that. We want it to be a seamless blend. Then I'm just going to take my beauty blender and lightly tap my face to make sure that my foundation is well blended into my skin. For my contour, I'm just going to use the Yves Saint Laurent Bare Look Tint Concealer, and it was sent to me and it was just coming out, so it doesn't have a color. But as far as contour, just use something that's about 3 shades darker than your skin tone, just so it could be shown that it's shaping your face. And I'm just going to apply that with a paintbrush at these areas. To blend out my contour, I'm just going to use my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and I'm going to go in an upward. First, I'm going to tap the concealer into my skin, and then I'm going to brush it in an upward motion, just making sure to keep it in place. Now to finally blend out my concealer, I'm going to go back in with the Morphe M173 brush, and I'm just going to start blending out the outermost parts of that concealer first and get that well blended, and blend it into my contour as well, just to have a seamless blend between the contour and the highlight concealer. And of course, going upwards towards my eyes, and then I'm going to blend it towards my nose. And then I'm going to take a beauty blender and blend out that innermost part of concealer around my eye. Then I'm just going to flip that beauty blender around and use the back part to make sure I blend that concealer good, because when we take our photos, we do not want that flashback to be crazy. We want to be well blended. And I'm going to do the same thing for my forehead and other parts where I've placed my concealer. And then when it comes to contouring my nose, I just blend out the outermost part of the contour, the darker part, with the beauty blender, and then I work my way to the middle, and then I blend that in an upward motion. I'm gonna go back in with my contour brush and blend that into my concealer. I'm telling you, blending takes time when you want your makeup to look good, okay? Trust the process. Remember, wherever we set concealer, we always have to set it. So I'm going to take my other beauty blender, and this has a square tip, which makes it easier for me to press underneath my eye. And I'm going back in with that Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. And you always want to dust off any excess product just so you don't look cakey underneath your eye. And then you're just going to set everywhere where you highlighted. Now going in with my other beauty blender, tapping into that translucent medium deep color, I like to just carve out my contour to make it prominent. And then I go in where my smile lines are and the top of my lip. And then I also like to blend a little bit of that brown translucent powder underneath my eye just so I don't look like a ghost, you know? Then I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and dust off any excess powder that I might have left. And then I'm just going to use the loose translucent powder and just contour around my nose. Next, I'm going to take the Black Radiance pressed powder in the color Rich Mahogany and set my contour. Now to add some color back to my face, I'm going to use this brush and I'm just going to tap into that Zulu palette, the pink eyeshadow, and that's my trick. And then I just use the blush to put on my cheeks, and I go above my contour and up around my temples and then underneath my nose just to give my face some color. Going back in with that fluffy brush, I just blend everything upward to make sure it's blended well together. You all always ask me about my inner corner eye highlight, and it's the Nubian 2 by Juvia's, and I go in with the color Zuri, and I'm going to be using the Morphe M421 brush, and I just lightly tap that around the inner cornea of my eye. I also put it on the bridge of my nose and on the tip as well, and then I just take my finger and I blend it upward just so it's not so shiny. For my lashes, I'm going to use the Duo Quick Set Striplash Adhesive. And what you're going to do is just take the applicator and rub it all on the top of your lash, only the part where the strip is. And then you're going to set that aside to dry. Going back in with the Zulu palette from Juvia's Place, I'm just going to use those same colors that we use for our eyes and put it on the bottom part of my eye. Now prepping to put my lashes on, I'm just going to use some mascara. That way my lashes could blend seamlessly. Now that the lash looks like it's dried up a bit, as you can see, you barely see any clear adhesive. You're going to just place it on your eyelash, and this is how I do it. And it's so easy. Then I just like to take my lash tool and make sure that it's pressed into my lash line so it doesn't come off. Now that I'm done with my face, of course I'm going to go back in with that setting spray and make sure everything is set. And then I'm going to use my beauty blender and just go around my face and blend it into my skin. For my lips, I like to line it first with the NYX Club Hopper Matte Lip Liner. And I'm just going to go all around my lip line. And then I like to use the Urban Decay Iced Americano Cream Lipstick to go around my lips. And then in the middle, I like to use the Pretty Little Things in the color Buff. And just mesh that together. Then for my waterline, I'm just going to use the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil just to make my eyes look bigger. And then to be a little extra, I'm just going to use that same lash glue, place it on a piece of my eyebrow, and then use these nail art rhinestones and place 3 of them on both of my eyebrows. And here is the finished look. You know, your girl had to change her hair, had to change the top to match the eyeshadow, and I am loving it. Let me know if you all would try this. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you all enjoy your Valentine's Day. Thanks for watching with me and sticking around. I have so much more in store for you, and I'll see you all in my next video. Until next time, bye.